I am melting down. What is this cop talking about? Her eyes. Oh, I cannot even believe this. Lawyer reacts to a lawyer owning some cops in a deposition. Ooh, this is getting a bit meta for my taste. But today, your favorite YouTube lawyer after Attorney Tom is reacting to Captain Audit's video titled Dumb Cops Getting Owned by a Lawyer. Now this sounds exciting. Let's get started.
Is it against the law to take pictures of a courthouse from outside?
Before she answers, let's all just jump in and say, no, of course not. This is not illegal. Look at her eyes, though. Her eyes. Oh.
Not that I know.
Okay. Is it lawful to arrest somebody for taking pictures outside of a courthouse, of the courthouse?
No, not that I know.
Are you familiar with this case at all?
Which case?
The case that brings us here today, that you're testifying in?
Yes.
Okay, and in a nutshell, what's the case about?
So as a lawyer, I love this question. Early on in the deposition, you tell the witness, tell me what you think this case is about, because it is a window into like what direction they're trying to go, how they've been prepped, what they've been coached on, etc. And also sometimes they will just fall into your lap with a fantastically stupid assessment of what's going on. And I haven't seen this video, but like she could say like, of our illegal arrest or whatever. Like you really don't know when you ask this question, how great the answer could be for you. It can't really be a bad answer, even if they're coached and they don't give you anything good. Whatever.
I would say that Amanda is, I guess I called you to say that she was outside videoing when she shouldn't have been.
Oh.
So she's saying we violated her amendment rights.
Okay, so that was a clever little answer, but not that clever. So she's saying that the plaintiff in this case, who was abused by the cops, shouldn't have been videoing. Of course, that's not a true statement. And then she is correct when she says she hired you to have her fundamental rights under the Bill of Rights vindicated in court against these dirty cops. She's right about that.
When you say when she shouldn't have been, what does that mean? Was she doing something wrong?
Just something unusual, what us as officers would consider unusual.
Unusual, okay.
Jump on her!
Depending on where you are in the country, Mormons are unusual.
What? Okay, it's unusual to videotape. So it's illegal to paint yourself green and go to dinner? Does that mean that it's illegal? Like, what is this cop talking about? This is so sad.
It might be unusual to see a Mormon. Do you get to detain Mormons in those places?
I don't know people.
Oh no, she doesn't know if you can arrest Mormons for being Mormons. The attorney representing the county in this situation should never have let it come to this. They should have gotten this case resolved. This is so bad. These visual depositions are absolutely fantastic for trial because no matter how they prep her before the trial, the fact that her lawyers have not prepped her before the deposition means that the jury is going to get to see her answer these questions if she changes her answer in any way for the trial. I mean, this is so brutal.
I don't know if they detain Mormons.
Would it be lawful? Just because it's unusual?
No, I don't.
Okay. Was Miss doing anything illegal when she was detained?
Oh no, oh no.
No, I would say it was not illegal, unusual.
Okay, so that's what we call a case-breaking answer when she says, I would say it's not illegal. Now, she can walk that back, and here's how. When her lawyer questions her, she can say, well, I now believe that it wasn't legal. At the time, I had a reasonable suspicion or probable cause. I had a reasonable suspicion to believe that she was breaking the law. Of course, she doesn't. She didn't. that would be fabricated. That would be like a false answer. But that's how you could try to recover from the unmitigated honesty of that answer right there. Wow, this is amazing.
Okay. In order to detain somebody, what do you have to have legally? Do you know?
Please no.
I do not know the law.
No,
legally.
she has to know the law. She can't follow the law. She can't enforce the law if she doesn't know the law. You have to have reasonable suspicion, or in some places, in some circumstances, it's called probable cause. But like, you have to have a reasonable suspicion. You have to be on them, seeing them do something illegal. She has to know this. Oh. My hope is that this guy is going to do way, way, way better than her.
What's the difference between arrest and detain? What would your answer be?
We'd call legal.
Mr. Gorman, seated to your left?
No. Sheriff has their own legal.
Oh, okay. Their own legal who helps them understand things like the difference between arrest and detain?
Yes.
Gotcha. Was there a lawful basis to handcuff her?
Yes.
Okay, and what was that lawful basis?
Officer safety.
So the officers are both county sheriffs.
Okay, now that is an interesting angle. Handcuffing someone to keep the officer safe is probably usually legal. You have to have a justifiable basis to stop them in the first place. You have to have reasonable suspicion that they're breaking the law. Oh, the plot is thickening.
One of which has been a lieutenant for 22 years. And between them, they have to call a lawyer to understand the difference between detainment and arrest. Just let that sink in for a moment.
Law.
Did you have any reasonable suspicion that she was committing a crime?
We had reasonable suspicion to ask her what she was doing and why she was doing it, just to get who she...
No. I would submit to you, my beloved audience, that this woman has never called legal. She's never called legal, because if she had called legal, she would know you can't stop someone to ask them what they are doing if you don't know. You have to have a reasonable suspicion, not a hunch, not a suspicion that's based on your bigotry or your ignorance, but a reasonable suspicion that they're breaking the law.
She was and why.
You and I agree on that you had the right to ask her whatever you wanted to ask her. Did you have the right to put her in handcuffs?
Let's just quickly jump back to the other officer's answer when asked the same question.
Was there a lawful basis to handcuff her?
Yes.
Okay, and what was that lawful basis?
Officer
safety. That's what he said.
For the security of the officers, yes.
Oh, there you go.
What made her a threat?
Okay, that's the best answer she could have given there. And his question to her, what made her a threat, is a brilliant question.
Her refusing to give any information that was requested of her.
Was she legally obligated to give that information?
Okay, let's just pause that for just a second. I want you all to actually think about this. So the officer's justification for handcuffing the civilian who they have not seen break the law is that she wouldn't answer their questions about what she was doing or who she was, and therefore she presents a danger to them. Like they might get punched in the face by their own lack of knowledge of her name. Like, that is so dumb. This is so dumb. It's so dumb. This is why people who hate cops hate cops. This is so dumb.
When an officer has asked her for security purposes to give her identity up.
They don't.
yes.
They can't ask for that.
Is now a threat. Very interesting.
Have you ever heard of something called a Terry search or a Terry frisk?
Please say yes.
Okay, what is that?
Oh no.
I'm not going to say exactly. I don't know the law.
Okay. Well, let me just ask you this. A police officer is allowed to go over to anybody they want, demand to see ID, and if they refuse, they get to arrest them? Is that your testimony? Or detain them?
Can you say it one more time? I'm sorry.
Sure.
Oh, this is such a great question, because he has distilled the interaction down to its essence. It's a bad look on her that she wasn't ready to answer it the first time. But here we go again. Perhaps she'll do better.
Officer goes over to somebody on the street. Let's call the person Mr. Plaintiff.
Okay.
Police officer goes to Mr. Plaintiff and says, hey, let me see your ID. And Mr. Plaintiff says, no. Is the officer now allowed to put Mr. Plaintiff in handcuffs and detain him?
I object. It's a hypothetical. It calls for speculation.
Yeah.
You can answer.
Okay. I do believe yes for officer.
Oh, no. Technically, that was the opposite of a correct answer. Technically. And also, that was the wrong answer.
Doesn't there have to be reasonable suspicion that the
Thank
person committed
you.
a criminal
At
offense
least someone
or
knows
violated the
this.
law?
Is I don't know the.
At least this officer is giving honest answers and admitting she doesn't know. Just wait till you see the other officer and his blatant dishonesty.
No.
Okay.
If you could go back in time to the day that you arrested her, would you still arrest her?
So you're asking me if I can go back in time?
Yeah.
I don't know how I could do that.
Okay. Did you understand my question?
I did, and you're asking me to suppose whether or not I can go back in time. I can't.
So you can't tell me if you would still arrest her?
I can't tell you what would happen on that day if I went back in time, no.
Okay. Is this an attempt to be funny?
A bit.
Are you trying to answer my questions?
I'm trying to answer your question.
You really can't figure this out because you can't wrap your head around time travel. That's what you're saying?
Object. Again, I mean, I'm going to object. It's getting to be harassing.
Now the lawyer's
is
being funny.
The question is hypothetical time travel backwards.
Is that really how you interpreted the question also?
Is that what you're asking? If he could go back in time, would he do it differently? Is that not what you're asking?
Yeah, that is what I asked him.
Okay, well...
I don't think that asks him to do time travel.
This is unbelievable. Wow. And this is like what I was saying earlier, okay? They messed up. They messed up. The arrest was illegal. So wrap up the case early on. Don't let it come to this where your police officers are like borderline lying under oath, or in the alternative, just being like combative and kind of the opposite of a public servant in their deposition, which is what they're supposed to be. When they get sued, like understand, their job is still to protect and serve, even though they've been sued. So if they made a mistake, their job is to own the mistake. Right now, the only thing they're trying to do is to protect the county. They're not trying to protect the people. They're trying to protect themselves, their job, their boss. That's not who they're supposed to protect and serve. And when they mess up out on the streets, when they come into the deposition or they get into the courtroom, they have the same obligation to protect and serve the public, not themselves, not their institution, not their paycheck. This is disgusting. I mean, having said that, I probably will still end up laughing shortly because these people are so stupid.
Suspicion that she was committing a crime, yes or no?
We weren't sure what she was doing.
Okay, so if you don't know what somebody's doing, do you have reasonable suspicion that they're doing anything in particular?
No, but we have a reasonable response to ask what she was doing.
Right.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yes.
You could ask
You
her
can
what
ask.
she's doing. And when she refuses to answer, are you now allowed to detain her?
You can't not know the answer to this. You can't. I promise you, they're talking about this in the first week of Police Academy. I mean, they really, you can't not know the answer to this. This is unbelievable.
Yes.
Who told you this?
That was
That you
actually
get to
the wrong
detain
answer.
people who are videoing and refuse to identify themselves when asked.
Yes. Who told you? No one's ever told her that.
Are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment, by the way?
Vaguely.
What does it say in your own vague terms?
No illegal search and seizure.
Right. Unless there's
Probable cause.
or.
Reasonable
That's
suspicion.
about all I know.
Now, there was somebody else who asked you the same question that I just asked you about your familiarity with the Fourth Amendment. My client, Ms. asked you that, didn't she?
I don't recall.
She asked you, are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment? You don't remember that?
No.
I talked to a lawyer.
Okay, call your lawyer.
That includes my camera as far as consent.
Well, it's already on.
You're familiar with the Fourth Amendment?
Oh, great. Why do we always get the crazy?
I don't know.
If I tell you that your answer was, oh great, why do we always get the crazies? Would you dispute that?
No.
Does that sound like something you would say to somebody?
That's something I did say that day, yes.
So you remember saying that?
Yes.
Do you remember saying that in response to the question, are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment?
No, I just remember saying it.
These guys are getting whipped by this lawyer. Whipped. I love it.
When people act in a way that is not in their best interest.
How is she acting that was not in her best interest?
Who made him the arbiter of what is in her best interest? Is that her dad? Is she a child? Is he the babysitter? What on earth?
All she had to do is identify herself. We could have done our report. You have an option. All you have to do is show us an ID so that we could do a report, and we'll let you go on your way. And everything could have gone the own.
And if somebody were to threaten you that unless you comply with their demands, they're going to put you in handcuffs, would you automatically necessarily comply with their demands?
Yes.
No object.
You would.
Calls for speculation.
He was able to answer. So you would. So even if there's somebody who is acting as a law enforcement officer, giving you an unlawful order, threatening you with detainment or arrest or 90 days jail, if you don't comply with their unlawful demands, you would still comply?
Yes.
Alrighty. Is that what you expected her to do?
Yeah, it
comply?
is. Yes.
Yes.
Better say yes.
Is there a law that requires people to identify themselves when requested by law enforcement?
Come on, don't miss this one. Don't miss it. It's very important.
Did you delete her pictures?
No.
Who did?
Don't know.
You don't know who deleted her pictures?
No.
By the time you got in front of Judge Peter Felice, they were deleted, weren't they?
As far as I know, they were still on there.
You grabbed her camera away from her outside, did you not?
Yes.
From that point until you were in front of Judge Peter Felice, did she ever hold her camera again?
No.
Okay, so you had it the entire time.
Yes.
Didn't Judge Peter Felice talk to you about whether the pictures had been deleted? You just said that he asked you for the memory card because he wanted to delete the pictures. Is that your testimony?
Yes.
Okay. And if he were to testify at some point in time that he absolutely, categorically did not delete those pictures, then would you want to change your answer as to whether you or one of your people did?
I'm going to object. Calls for speculation.
So this is a fantastic question because he said, okay, I've pinned you down. You have the camera, and ultimately the judge has the memory card for a second. But the plaintiff, she never got the camera again. Okay, he's agreed to that. The photos have been deleted. Now, I don't know that that's true. Like, if I were him, I would say, I didn't know there were photos on there. I still don't know that there were photos on there. Of course, there may be a way to look and see if there had been deleted photos, but that probably is not an issue here. But he's saying, suppose the judge says, I didn't break the law, which is exactly what the judge is going to say because he's not a moron. I'm looking at you, cop. The judge is not a moron. So now it's just down to this cop, and he has asked him what he's going to say in response to a judge saying, I didn't delete the photos. Of course, his lawyer objected, which he kind of should object, but also the guy still has to answer the question.
No one had custody of the camera but me.
Okay.
Would it have been lawful for you to delete her pictures?
I don't know.
Oh, no. You have to know that it's not lawful to delete the photos. You have to know that. Saying that you don't know makes it sound like, yeah, you probably did delete them. And you probably did it on purpose. Oh, whoa, this is not going well for the department.
What do you think? Are you allowed to go over to people's pictures and delete them?
No.
What do you do if somebody says they want to talk to a lawyer and you have them in handcuffs?
We allow them to call a lawyer.
Do you keep asking them questions?
Oh, okay. Before he answers, if he answers, do you understand that she has invoked her rights under the Fifth Amendment to not answer questions because she's asked for a lawyer? Okay, whether they've Mirandized her or not, she's asked for a lawyer. Anything she says after that, they can't use it. It's illegal for them to ask. And he knows this. Look at those beady little eyes. He knows exactly what the correct answer is. He just can't bring himself to say it. Look at those eyes.
It depends on the case.
Oh,
I got you.
wrong.
Okay, tell me the case in which you would continue to ask questions.
I know the answer. Are you ready? It's a case not in the United States. Great job, cop.
Questions of somebody in custody after they ask for a lawyer.
If we're doing an investigation, we're going to ask.
I got you. Okay. Do you know which amendment it is that allows people to demand a lawyer? Do you have any idea?
Come on.
Have you ever read anybody the Miranda rights?
No.
You've never read anybody their Miranda rights?
No.
Have you ever arrested anybody?
No.
Other than Ms. Berquist?
No.
And
What?
And you don't know the Miranda rights?
Not offhand, no.
All right. To arrest somebody.
I am melting down. I cannot even believe this. First of all, I think it's great that this cop has been on the streets for 30 years and hasn't arrested someone. I love that. But the fact that he doesn't know the Miranda rights is troubling at best. Wow. Wow. He doesn't even know about the Fifth Amendment.
Do you have to advise them that they have the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Oh,
Do you
he's
have
heard
to
of
advise them
that.
that they have the right to an attorney?
Yes.
Do you have to advise them that if they cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided to them?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what if somebody says, yes, I want to talk to an attorney? Do you get to keep asking them questions? Or do you have to call a lawyer for them before you want to ask any more questions?
Surely he knows. Surely.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Oh, dude.
You don't know?
That is the only answer I cannot accept. I could have accepted yes because it's correct. I could have accepted no because like he's wicked and he just wants to break the law. But I cannot accept I do not know. I can't.
If you're allowed to keep asking questions of somebody in custody after they ask for a lawyer.
No.
How long have you been employed at Cook County Sheriff's?
27 years.
27 years. I imagine you only became a lieutenant recently?
No.
How long ago did you become a lieutenant?
22 years ago.
Okay, so let's back up. Understand that as a lieutenant, he has officers who report to him. Officers for whose training he is responsible. So this isn't just some guy down at the bottom of the food chain who doesn't know rights. This guy is up. He has people reporting to him, and he literally can't advise them about, so far, the Fourth Amendment or the Fifth Amendment. Like, he literally just doesn't know.
Lieutenant for 22 years and you don't know the Miranda rights?
Yes.
What's your rank?
Sergeant.
How long have you been a sergeant?
I have been a sergeant 10 years.
Oh.
It will just be coming up on
How long
so
have you-
9.5 years.
How long have you been working for the Cook County Sheriff's Office as a law enforcement officer of some sort in any capacity?
19 years and 10 months.
What are the Miranda rights?
Oh, no.
Our Miranda rights. I would have to read them to you from a pre-written.
Can we show you Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum trying to recite the Miranda rights in their boss's office after they botched an arrest? Because I'm feeling that vibe right now real bad.
Look, it obviously starts with you have the right to remain silent. I know you've heard this before. And then I think it sounds something like, oh, right, you have the right to remain an attorney.
Did you say that you have the right to be an attorney?
Matter-of-factly, that she's going to go to jail for 90 days if she doesn't give you her ID.
I don't recall that, no.
Well, did you or did you not? Or do you not know?
I do not recall that.
Is that something that you would do and say?
No.
We're going to probably take her in front of the judge.
Okay.
He's going to hold her in contempt for, I think right now he's doing 90 days.
Okay.
So.
She's not in contempt. Believe me, I would know. She's not in contempt if she's not violated a court order. This is so dumb. They're just manipulating her. They're just lying. I cannot believe this. I should believe it. I'm watching it.
Okay with you?
Remain silent.
Okay, but you realize you're going to go to Cook County Jail for 90 days.
Remain silent.
Okay?
Okay.
Now you have an option. All you have to do is show us an ID so that we can do a report, and we'll let you go on your way.
I have an option.
Yeah.
We told you that
Remain
before.
silent.
Because right now you're just obstructing and you're in contempt.
Obstructing what?
You're obstructing us from doing our job.
Remaining silent.
All right, cuff her. Let's get her purse.
Ken.
Get her stuff.
I don't consent to searches.
Well, we don't care anymore.
So she's very smart to say, I don't consent to the search. And here's why. You have to have a reasonable suspicion to do a search, right? I mean, there's a bunch of different rules depending on what's being searched and when. However, all of those rules can go by the wayside if you consent. So that's why in a traffic stop, cops will often ask you, like, do you mind if I search your car? Do you mind if I search your trunk? Do you have anything in your purse? If you don't consent, then if they don't meet the minimum legal threshold, they can't do it legally. And so it's very smart of her to say on tape, I don't consent. That was amazing. Yes, props to the attorney for owning those cops, but I mean, anyone could have owned those cops. Even tiny little attorney Tom, because they were so off base. They didn't know how to do their job in any way. But to me, the upshot here, and I beat this drum every chance I can get, body cam footage, video footage, audio recordings, anything that you can do to document these interactions with the cops is absolutely vital to the success of shutting down these corrupt cop organizations and holding them accountable, because people don't want to believe that cops are as bad as these cops are. I mean, that was just about the worst way those depositions could go. I definitely got my money on the plaintiff winning this lawsuit. What about you? Drop your pro se opinion in the comment section below. Do you find anything redeemable in how the cops behave? If you like my reaction to this video, I've got some great news for you. I have a whole channel full of attorney reaction videos. Check out the Attorney Reacts channel for more reactions to crazy, sometimes disturbing videos from a ton of different attorneys, like actually over 2,000 pounds. But don't forget to subscribe right here first, because I will be back with some more of your favorite content very soon. See you later.